We got to talk about the news. We got to get to it. Shoot. First thing I got this week is Avengers Doomsday news. Oh, no. What's going on with Avengers Doomsday? What? What's the deal here? Tell the people, Andy.
So we learned. I learned this just as we were sitting down to watch Friendship last Thursday. But Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars have both been pushed 6 months. Doomsday was supposed to come out May 2026, about a year from now, kick off the summer movie going season. It's been kicked to December 2026, so they've given it 6 months, and that of course has pushed Avengers Secret Wars back also. This is both a good and bad sign. I think it's good that they are going to have more time to do the film, but it also shows that they're clearly not really ready. Allegedly, they don't really have a script. No one's read any lines. They've just started filming probably action sequences, or they're still in pre-production. Maybe, who knows? It's not anywhere close to being ready.
Yeah, I think it's a W for Disney. Move it back to winter, right? The family will all be together. Everyone's going to need something to go see so they don't have to listen to their stupid cousins for another 3 hours. Like, take the whole family to see Avengers. Make it a winter joint, right? That's where Avatar lives. That's where Star Wars is supposed to live. Sony's had a lot of success with Spider-Man over in winter. Totally makes sense. On the filmmaking side, yeah, dog, they so don't have it together. Like, they're scrambling over there. They're scrambling. You can see it from a million miles away. Another 6 months for what? That thing you announced 2 years ago? Like, I don't know. Like, it's going to be messy. Like, best case scenario, it comes out as good as the other Avengers movies. But with those Russo brothers at the front, dog, I'm not so sure. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll be all right. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's kind of Jover. So one of the big issues, I think, as part of what made Marvel so dominant in the 2010s was its production output. They were doing like 3 movies a year, so you were only waiting 4 months, sometimes 4 or 5 months for a Marvel film, and I mean they were just churning these things. And now you're not going to have you're going to have over a year, because the Spider-Man movie for Spider-Man Brand New Day will come out next July. So you're going to have 13 months or so without any kind of Marvel film, and then 18 months until Avengers. And so there's a little bit of out of sight, out of mind. And I don't know if the Avengers brand is big enough for everyone to just come out the way something like Batman is. Anytime you make a Batman movie, everyone's coming out no matter what. And I don't know if Avengers will still have that. They've had 4 incredibly successful movies, but that will have been 7 years ago since the last one. And I could be wrong, but I'm kind of doubtful.
We probably need to make like a proper segment for the show on this. I don't mean to informally debut it here, but something Andy has been talking about offline and a little bit on the podcast here is Marvel cooked, right? Have we crossed the Rubicon where we'll look back in time and go, oh, dude, they were fried after this year, or this run of movies was enough for people to not care? And a lot of people say after the last Avengers, Endgame, right? People kind of ducked out of the series. Maybe that was it. And the question is, like, can we get back to where we were? And maybe not. But will people still turn out for Avengers, right? Will the name still have value? We're about to talk about the box office here in a second. Lilo and Stitch might inform this a little on the Disney side.
Yep.
But one thing's for sure, like, I do think Marvel's got this homework problem still, where it feels like if you've missed the last 6 movies and the last 2 Disney Plus shows, you're not going to be caught up. You're not going to know who half these characters are. You're just not going to care enough to go to the theater and spend money on a ticket. You know what I mean? Versus waiting for Disney Plus. So this will be the big test, man. Like, I didn't think people were going to turn out for Deadpool Wolverine as much, and they sure did. So maybe. But at the same time, if it's a bunch of Avengers you don't know, maybe not. I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
It's kind of looking like a lot of D-list Avengers, but they're also not investing in their properties. In that phase 2 and 3, we got 3 Captain America movies. We got 4 Thor movies. We got several Doctor Strange, so you were seeing these characters more than once, and they kind of haven't done that. There's only been 1 Shang-Chi movie, 1 Eternals movie, 1 kind of everything, and like we won't have gotten more than 1 Fantastic Four movie. That would have been good to have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of those. Some of their other properties as well. It's just, that's real high and dry. The other thing is, like, maybe the audience has just aged out. This is something you've talked about where, you know, people that they grew up with Marvel, and after Endgame, they're like, well, it's kind of kid stuff. And it might still be kid stuff, except you've lost that audience, and new audiences aren't necessarily going. You can look at Thunderbolts as an example of that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it more here on the pod. Come back for more Avengers talk. Trust me, we will do plenty of it between now and December. December 2026, respectively. We got to talk about the box office this weekend. Dude, I can't believe how many people were at the movies this weekend. Insane Memorial Day turnout. What is this? Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible? That's what's getting people out?
Yeah, it's been huge. This was record-breaking Memorial Day, something that the theaters and studios definitely needed. Lilo and Stitch came in at 183 million domestic, 340 million globally, which is just insane numbers. That's definitely going to be a billion-dollar property, I think. Mission Impossible did a series best with 77 million domestically, 90 or so globally, 191 million globally. So the best for that series as well, which is a little bit surprising. Final Reckoning has been received largely positively, but also a little bit kind of divisive, I think, in some ways. But they're both doing really well. One of the best Memorial Days ever.
We went to the theater Thursday to see Friendship, and we saw it in a very small, crappy theater that nobody was in. There were a few people in there. And I was bummed because when we got to the theater, like not only did I have to park way in the back because the parking lot was crowded, insane, jam-packed full, but you walk in the lobby, there's a million people in there. The lines are a mile long. The popcorn things are going. It's a great day at the movies, but good Lord, I couldn't believe how many people had come out and nobody was going to see Friendship, which again, we'll talk about here in a second. Worth listening to. I swear it's a solid flick. Very funny comedy. In the meantime, like, when I actually wanted to go see Mission Impossible, I couldn't go see it on any premium screen other than IMAX. It's IMAX or standard because every D-Box, Dolby, 4D, or ScreenX, Disney's got for Lilo and Stitch. That's what everybody's going to see. Like, so yeah, families out, dude. Like, tons of families, kids getting nachos and hot dogs. Like, great day for theaters. But over here on the movie side, I was like, oh my God, who are all these people? Get out of my sanctuary. This is where I come to be alone and eat junk food in the dark. Huge weekend for Disney, though. Good God.
Yeah, really impressive for them. Lilo and Stitch, I was just reading, is apparently merchandise-wise is one of their best-selling properties ever. And so, like, Disney adults and people knew that this was going to be really massive.
Yeah, I went and looked up because I was thinking I had heard the new Lilo was really good, and I went and looked up the old Lilo. Davy Chase is her name, who also voiced Chihiro in the Studio Ghibli movie Spirited Away. Love that movie, and she is not working anymore. She couldn't quite make the transition from child actor to adult actor. Like totally fine, makes sense, whatever. I hope she's doing all right. She's on Instagram, I think, but. Boy, I totally had a point. I totally forgot where I was going with that. Oh, I remember. Looking at her IMDb, she's voiced Lilo like every project since the movie. Not only did they make like a direct DVD, dude, they had a TV series, commercials, video game stuff. Lilo and Stitch has had so many properties since just the movie that I wasn't aware of. I was like, oh boy. So seeing all these families at theater, I'm like, okay, I see why people are turning out for this. Like, this is a much larger thing than I expected. Do you think this reignites Disney? Well, Jenny Nicholson talked about this on Twitter. Do you think this reignites Disney's desire to make live action adaptations? Because I know they're running out of gas, but like, good God, what a success.
I think those will always be on the table, but they're also, I mean, they don't have a lot left. Part of what has made Lilo and Stitch such a big deal is that the people that grew up with it as kids and remember going to see the original 20 years ago, you don't really have a whole lot of those left. That's why Disney's remaking things like Moana or maybe Frozen. That they don't have a whole lot of these left to remake. And right now, like, I mean, name something besides Moana and Frozen. What else do they got?
The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Tangled, because they were going to do it and then canceled it. And now they might spin that back up. Somebody might be like, hey, yo, that Lilo and Stitch movie made a lot of money. Tangled had an animated series. Why not? Like, a bunch of people saw that. Yeah, but also for every movie that somebody thinks that hasn't been done yet, like, oh, they didn't do Lady and the Tramp. They did. It went to Disney Plus. Oh, they didn't do Pinocchio. They did. It went to Disney Plus. Like, a lot of them have been done and been failures already. So I don't know. I tell you who Disney might be running out of material, but what am I trying to say? Disney may not be running out of material, but I know who is. Ethan Hunt. We got to talk about Mission Impossible. Any other thoughts on the Memorial Day box office before we jump over?
Just a couple more notes. Final Destination Bloodlines came in third with 186 million globally. So that's doing really well. It's only a $50 million film. Thunderbolts came in fourth and Sinners came in fifth. Sinners has actually made more money now than Thunderbolts, which I think is also telling for the state of Marvel. Oh, this was the thing I was going to say. I think in the 2010s, like Marvel is what you took your 8-year-old to see, even if they weren't necessarily old enough. And I think that's what's different now. Is like you're taking the kids to see Lilo and Stitch, but you're not taking them to see Thunderbolts. It's kind of too mature. Like you wouldn't take like a 10-year-old to that. Oh, you might take a 10-year-old, but it's just not quite the same. It's not the family going endeavor that it once was. I think a decade ago.
Yeah, I think you're right. I tell you what, man, I just saw another W for Ryan Coogler. I saw the Sinners 4K is going to have the IMAX ratio on it, which is like not even the Dune 4K has the IMAX ratio on it. Dune 2, I cannot see the top and bottom of that movie like I saw it in theaters ever. Doesn't exist on physical media. Sinner's gonna have it. Like, dude, Ryan Coogler, a movie maker, a movie maker's movie maker. Let me tell you, a filmmaker's filmmaker. Very excited for Sinners. Like, just continues to rock. All right, we got to get down to it. One final mission, Andy. You got to trust me one last time. You ready to talk about this one? You got it?
I'm ready.
But please take it away.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.